Welcome to my views and news. Three news stories. First one is from Addis Ababa, Oromia border, where two churches started ringing bells today. At one church, there was confrontation between security forces and Orthodox followers. Security forces opened fire. At least one Orthodox follower was injured. Some say killed. Details for you. Secondly, the Oromia region-based Orthodox faction bishops are arriving in Waliso. It was in Waliso where they made appointments of new bishops, and that led to start of conflict. How are they being received in Waliso? We have a clip for you. Are there large number of people receiving them? And thirdly, viewers, interesting news story about Eritrean President Afwerki, who arrived in Nairobi, Kenya around 48 hours ago, 2-day official visit. And there he faced some tough questions. International media asked questions. No question was asked about Eritrea-Kenya relations. All questions were about Tigray, about Ethiopia. And Afwerki did not reply. He tried to avoid these tough questions. We have clips for you of what questions were asked and how he replied. Firstly, viewers, Oromia Addis Ababa border, where we are seeing tensions. At one church, there was confrontation between Orthodox followers and Oromia regional forces. Oromia regional forces surrounded the church and they stopped Orthodox followers from entering the church. The church is St. Johannes Church in Walate. Walate is not far from Addis Ababa. You can say it's on Addis Ababa Oromia border. On Oromia side of the border, where Oromia security forces surrounded the church. And church started ringing bells, which has been happening in Oromia, that whenever church starts ringing bells, Orthodox followers, they flock to the church, they try to protect the church, and that leads to confrontation, like we saw in Shashamane, where dozens were killed, church claims, and here security forces opened fire to disperse Orthodox followers. Why did security forces surround St. Johannes Church in Walate? Because obviously security forces are supporting the new splinter Oromia-based faction in taking control of new churches in Oromia, which have been under the control of Orthodox Church led by Abune Sariwos. That is why security forces surround the churches, and then Oromia Synod, Oromia region-based Orthodox group bishops enter the church. That is what has been happening for days in Oromia. We have a clip for you from Walate showing how security forces surrounded the church. Same is being reported from Kidane Mere Church, Aire Tena Kidane Mere Church, not far away from Walate. So in these areas on Oromia, Addis Ababa border, tensions are being seen. Security forces are in control. At St. Johannes Church, security forces opened fire. At least one Orthodox follower was injured. We have a clip for you, graphic. I cannot show you, but I can confirm that at least one Orthodox follower was injured at St. Johannes Church. Others could be there injured or killed, I don't know, but I just saw one clip showing one injured man at St. Johannes Church. Watch this clip from the St. Johannes Church. The clip shows security forces surrounding the church, people outside church not allowed to enter the church. And after that, firing started. I have a clip, but graphic. I can't show you the shooting, but before shooting would happen, I have a clip for you. Watch the clip.
ምንም በቃ የሚተባበር የህግ አካል የለ። እነሱ ግን የሚተባበራቸው የታጠቁ ናቸው። ማን እንደሰጣቸው እንግዲህ ምናውቀው ነገር የለም። እኛ ጋር ግን ምንም የሚተባበረን የህግ አካል የለም። እስካሁን ድረስ እንግዲህ የሁሉ እንግዲህ መረጃ የደረሰ ምንም የመጣልን የህግ አካል እንኳን የለም። ይኸው እንደምታዩት
Second views, Abune Sariwos led Oromia region-based Orthodox faction bishops are arriving in Waliso. It was in Waliso that they made appointments, which led to start of the Orthodox church conflict ongoing, and they are back in Waliso. And meeting of all top bishops is underway with participation of Abune Sariwos, Abune Sariwos, Abune Marcos, and 25 appointees as well. So key decisions are expected. Yesterday, this Orthodox faction postponed Sunday's protests. Now we are going to see new announcements by this faction of Orthodox Church from Waliso in coming hours reportedly. How were these bishops welcomed in Waliso? Were there large crowds on their way to Waliso, in Waliso? We have a clip for you. Yes, in Waliso, people, they welcomed Abune Sariwos and others in large number. But this number and what we saw in Addis Ababa last night is... there is no comparison. In Addis Ababa, there were thousands. Here, a few hundred, you can say. So we cannot say that all Orthodox followers in Oromia are behind this faction led by Abune Sariwos. At the same time, we cannot say that Oromia Orthodox believers have rejected this group. The group has following. The following could increase. Let's see what happens. Watch a clip from Waliso. You can see how many people welcomed Abune Sariwos and other archbishops in Waliso. Watch the clip. Thirdly, was Isaiah Eritrean President is in Kenya, 2-day visit. He is reciprocating because William Ruto visited Asmara a few weeks ago, and then he invited Isaiah, who is now out of Eritrea, where he remained for the past 2 years or so during the 2-year-long Tigray conflict. And some tough questions were asked at joint press briefing by William Ruto and Isaiah Afwerki. Isaiah Afwerki announced to rejoin IGAD, regional cooperation platform. Eritrea was suspended, or Eritrea disappeared from IGAD, but William Ruto requested Isaiah Afwerki to be part of IGAD. He announced to be part of IGAD. He said that the two countries are working towards a visa abolishing as well. A visa should be abolished. That was announced by William Ruto, and the two countries will work they will work jointly in the fields of agriculture, mining, education, etc. And Isaiah's work, he was all praise for William Ruto. He said William Ruto took the initiative to visit Asmara. He commended William Ruto for visiting Asmara. Then international media started asking questions, tough questions. What were the questions? First question, has Eritrean military withdrawn from Tigray? Second question, how many Eritrean soldiers were killed in Tigray? Third question, when will elections be held in Eritrea? What is succession planning of Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki? Who will be his successor? No answers. And what about the allegations that Eritrean soldiers committed atrocities in Tigray? No answers. Isaias Afwerki avoided all these questions. He just said that he had no plan to interfere, to sabotage any peace deal. Peace deal should be implemented, signed between TPLF and Ethiopian federal government. He said that it was a fantasy of those who fabricate stories about Eritrea, that Eritrean military committed atrocities in Tigray. It is just a fantasy. It is not what happened. And he said that Westerners, they were also becoming a victim of this disinformation campaign. Did not answer the main questions. How many were killed in Tigray? Who is going to be his successor? When will election be held? No answers. Take a listen to what he said and which questions were asked. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Excellencies. My name is Emmanuel Igunza from BBC Africa. My question is to both of you, Excellencies, regarding particularly Ethiopia. Both of the countries are heavily invested in the peace and security in Ethiopia and also in the region. And part of the agreement that the country had made was for the withdrawal of Eritrean troops in Ethiopia, in Tigray region. Have you discussed this, and how do you think about this in terms of taking forward the peace process?
Sorry, Excellencies, we'll take them in succession, please.
I've gotten repeat what I said.
Can you repeat your question again? I think the mic had a challenge at some point.
I just wanted to find out if you had further discussions regarding the peace process in Ethiopia. Part of it was the complete withdrawal of Eritrean troops in Tigray region, and how you see this as taking forward that peace process.
I wish there was a representative from the Ethiopian government here to address this issue, because I have no intention of interfering in this matter, in spite of the disinformation campaign going on, trying to disrupt the process of peace in Ethiopia and trying to create a conflict between Eritrea and Ethiopia, which has been the norm for those who come to promote their agendas in the region. We say enough is enough. Ethiopia will have to enjoy peace. The people in Ethiopia will have to enjoy peace. What happened in Pretoria and Nairobi is a continuation of the aspiration and wish of the peoples in Ethiopia and everywhere in the region. And Eritrea has no agenda, no plan of getting involved in this matter without the permission of the sovereign Ethiopian government. You talk about the withdrawal or no withdrawal, we've said this is nonsense. Don't provoke us to come to a misunderstanding on why are you bothered about Eritrean troops who are there or not there, come out and not come out. Let's assume that the peace process in Ethiopia is going without any obstacles. We would like to see the agreement signed in Pretoria or Nairobi implemented on the ground so that we can secure peace and stability in Ethiopia for the benefit not only of Ethiopians but the whole region.
I have a question for Isaias Afwerki, His Excellency Isaias Afwerki. Still on Eritrea and Ethiopia.
Louder, we can't hear you.
Okay, cool. My name is Rael Umbor. I'm with the Washington Post here in Nairobi. So what is Eritrea's response to
we cannot hear you. Can you raise your voice?
Like this? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So what is Eritrea's response to repeated overwhelming documentation of war crimes by Eritrean troops in Tigray? And why did it deny its presence there for 5 months after the troops entered? My second question is, how many Eritrean troops have been killed in Tigray? And my third question to you is, do you have a plan for transition of power or elections in your country? Thank you.
One question at a time. I will answer the first question. And don't take Eritrea as a pretext for problems in Ethiopia or elsewhere in the whole region. First and foremost, I would like to repeat this again and again and say, why is it an excuse for anyone, Washington Post or anybody else, as far as Ethiopia is concerned? This agreement is signed. It will take time to be implemented on the ground, and it's up to the government of Ethiopia to decide on the mechanisms and processes of implementing this arrangement. Don't try to drag us into a situation. But again, this question will have to go to a factory I call fabricating lies and disinformation, and go ask that factory or the owner of that factory who is talking about human rights abuse, who is talking about so many things happening on the ground. It's a fantasy of those who want to derail any peace process achieving its goal. If you are interested, I say you're wasting your time. Everybody talking about human rights, violations here and there, rape, looting. This is a fantasy in the minds of those who are owning this factory I call a factory of fabricating misinformation.
Okay.
I've got it. Hi, thank you. Kara Anna with the Associated Press. I would like to follow up on a couple of my colleagues' questions. How many Eritreans were killed in the conflict in Tigray? And also, what kind of succession plan do you have? Are you indeed president for life? And if so, what happens afterwards? Thank you.
Same question.
It's intoxicating you. These lies and fabrications are keeping your mind set in the wrong direction. I say correct that so that you can ask the right question at the right time.